Little Caesars changed the game, bro.
They did.
Little Caesars changed. That's the most shot of shit.
Hey, Chewy, blood. They want you on the podcast, bro. Look, he Mexican, bro. You gotta put him on.
Am I interrupting your depression? I'm sorry.
This week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Wraps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Wraps, where the big boys play.
For the thousands watching YouTube, for the millions listening around the world, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hi, Mom.
We are here for another episode of The Voice Party. We've got comedian extraordinaire JD. We've got producer extraordinaire Phil Spooner. We've got comedian extraordinaire Corday Snell. And yours truly, Black Joaquin, and our auspicious guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ivy Cordova.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! We're gonna bury some people today.
Never forget.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Dude, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah. It's you redeemed yourself.
I did redeem myself.
He had booked someone for this time slot. And apparently the person is not even in the same hemisphere.
They're not right now.
Wait, what? Who?
They're in LA.
Oh.
Okay, it's LA. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not,
Yeah.
And we talked about having you on the podcast before.
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
I'm fucking. Because we only do like what 4 or 5 of these.
We did 4 or 5 a month.
A month.
Wow, that's a lot though.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming out.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How you been?
I've been good. Like, I had finals a few weeks ago, so I feel like for a month I was just like working straight and not really catching up on TV. So when people would make like pop culture references or even talk about the news, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't think I've seen sunlight like for 3 weeks.
Now,
but
the Queen died.
I remember that. I do remember that vaguely because of Twitter. And other than that, like I've been good. Just like it's been more chill. It's been more chill the last couple weeks.
Somebody tell Stacey Dash.
Somebody tell Stacey. Oh my gosh.
She about to be real fucked up when she found out Tupac is dead, boy.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness. The Irish are taking
Wait till
it
she
real
finds
hard.
out about COVID.
She's missed a lot.
Yeah.
It's crazy that people can still do that. Like disconnect from. I guess that just shows how much I go on that shit. But disconnect for 10 days, and you're about to find out some shit.
Yeah, like there was a point where I was only leaving my house like after 7 o'clock. Like I think the only time I would actually leave to go anywhere like during the day would be to take my kid to school. And other than that, like I would just be inside. I work in tech, so I'd be working during the day, and then I'd have to switch off to like school brain, and then 7 o'clock I gotta go do comedy.
Jesus,
It's a badass chick right here, yo. Like me and her both started grad school around the same time, and I just see like Ivy just working and stuff like just finished finals, got A's and shit. I'm like, bitch, I'm over here struggling. I'm like, how the fuck you do this, Ivy?
No.
But
Dude, like there was one show that I did in Stockton, right? This is like a Nick Larson show, and Nick and Joseph probably remember. I was finishing a paper, and I didn't want to bring a laptop, so I was finishing this paper like at the bar from my phone. Damn. And they're just like, Ivy, are you texting somebody? I was like, no, I'm finishing a fucking paper. Like this
on
is
your phone?
On my phone. Formatting and everything. I was like, this is hard, but we're the generation that we can do everything from our phone.
Yeah. How long you been working in tech for?
I've been working in tech for about 17 years. I mean, that should make me sound old as fuck, right?
nah, dude, you just making money, fucking making cash cow. Yeah.
17 years. Wait, 17 years was 20. Because when you say 17 years for me, it sounds like the 90s.
Oh my god.
That's how. Well, I mean,
2005.
2005.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Corday got that look like you couldn't subtract 17 from 22.
I was on my math teacher too, so I give people pause. I let them try to figure it out, and then I'm like, okay.
I know it wasn't. It wasn't. But to me, that just sounds like we were talking about the 90s.
Yeah.
Because when someone would talk about 30 years ago in 90s, the 70s.
Yeah. Most of the time, I remember they said that. Yeah. It's like 30 years ago, we usually thinking like the 70s, but actually that's just the 90s now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, one of my like young coworkers that I was working with, the dude told me he was born 2001, and I was like, damn, that's when I busted my first nut.
Wait, how old are you in 2001, dude? Fucking
11.
Oh my god.
Shit, dude.
Fuck, I'm old.
You did it, or was it like somebody helping you?
No, I didn't know.
Okay. I was like, props, JD, you busted nuts at 11?
This got off too old.
No, like every time, like so working in tech, like you're around a lot of other tech people, and sometimes you see those same people. Like prior to pandemic, you would see the same people at the bar because I work in San Francisco, and there would be people that were very, very young trying to talk to me at the bar, and every time I would talk to them, or they would ask me or try to get a phone number or something, I would ask them, do you remember 9/11, or is it something that your parents talked to you about? Because I'm just like, if you were breastfeeding during 9/11, like we're gonna have nothing in common. Like I'm good. Instead of talking to me, go call your mom and wash your sheets. What? Sorry.
That's a great fielding question.
It's 9/11 today.
Oh,
I was like, are you doing this on purpose?
no, the fucking
It's 9/11
of all the
today.
days to forget.
Yeah, right.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
That's my
Wait.
best friend's birthday too. I gotta text him. Okay.
What a birthday to have.
right.
They're blowing out the candles and the towers just fell. Was that what you wished for, you little monster? No, it's not.
They didn't even make it to that because I remember the towers fell like early in the morning. I remember because I was in the 7th grade when it happened, and school stopped that day because we were just like watching it, and I was like, oh, y'all found out Aaliyah died? That's what I was thinking.
That's right.
It's like it happened in August and it's September 11th.
Who told you Stacy died?
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. I remember I was in like 6th grade when that happened.
Yeah.
And I remember like thinking, cool, I guess no school, right?
Yeah.
But we went to school.
Yeah, we was at school when we found out. Like, cause I caught the bus. I was started catching the bus, and my mom would already be at work because she had to be there at 8 and had to be at school at 8. So it was like no physical way shit we could be there at the same time. Because I went to school in Pinole. She worked in Oakland. She worked at Kaiser Oakland at the time. So it was like, yeah.
It's funny because we had a history teacher who was he's a veteran, and I remember he did this lesson on how like the United States is the most powerful country. No one would ever dare to attack us. And I remember that day I was like, I guess they do. But it was not funny. It's just like,
Yeah, definitely.
How old were you guys for 9/11? I mean, were you like teen? Were you were a little older, right?
19. I was 19.
19?
Yeah.
How
11, 12?
11, 12?
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think like how shooken up people were after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still shooken up from fucking Columbine.
Yeah, dude,
Right?
Columbine happened. Like, I was a senior for Columbine. I was like,
damn.
oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just made me think about all the people that like I'd been mean to, and all the it just made me sort of like rethink my life.
You sent out apology letters to like, what was that,
You were
Billy
rolling
Madison?
the dice
Right.
every time you were mean to somebody.
Billy
Right.
Madison, he sends a letter to the guy and then he crosses him off her list.
Oh my God, I was
It's on the lipstick.
I was like, did I have this interaction? Is this how I interpreted it? Like, oh my God, I hope they're all doing okay. It was wild, like just the way that happened. I mean, I already didn't grow up feeling safe because I went to public school in Hayward, but like, that was a whole other story.
Well, like, was it what was it in the like the crack era?
No, that's a little too old.
Damn, bro.
Like, there's still like residual from it.
No,
right?
totally.
Still fixed now, yeah.
Because you know how kids now, they have like school shooting drills? Like
Yeah.
we, at one point, I think it was like freshman and sophomore year, we actually had, instead of campus police, we had the SWAT team because there was a threat with gang activity, and also like the people from different schools kept threatening to shoot people at my school. And it got to the point where...
That's cool. That's personal. That's not like,
Yeah, but
all out. I'm just kidding.
before racial profiling was a thing, like what they would do is they would search everybody that was suspected of looking like a gang member, and if you dressed like something or if they thought you were one of them, they would send you home. So there was a point where I was getting sent home like once a week, and my dad was just like, what the fuck? Like, they were like, what are you doing home?
I'm just wearing Ben Davis, Dad.
Right, I was exactly. I was like, I like flannel and lip liner. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, you a chola? With what was that? Spray?
Aquanet. Oh my God. No, I went through hella phases. Like I wore, I tried to. Do you remember the phrase? You guys are all so young. Does anybody here remember the phrase Hauser?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like I would borrow hella of my dad's like plaid work shirts, and I also had like Dickies and Ben Davis pants and all that kind of shit. And then at some point I became like a baby goth. Like if you
I can see it.
I think I showed you.
I think you showed me a few of them outfits.
all
definitely.
different versions of people that listen to Morrissey.
Pretty much. It's just depressing ass shit. Like if they, that movie The Craft, like if they had an Asian character, that would have been me. Just drinking coffee and hating the world and like wishing I had more piercings than I did. Just that was me when I was in high school.
That shit, my sisters were like in that era, so they used to, once that movie came out,
Oh, yeah.
they were all about witchcraft and shit and dressing up like goth cholas. That was you.
Like in retrospect, I mean, the witchcraft would have been like. I feel like if had my parents really understood the context of that, my mom would have said some shit like, "Too bad you couldn't use that witchcraft to get into a better school." I feel like that's some shit my parents would have said to me had they understood the context of like me wanting to put spells on assholes.
Wait, so you graduated in 99?
99, yeah.
99?
Yeah.
And so, damn, it must have been crazy to, because like you already had SWAT in your school,
Yeah.
and then you see this other school get shot up and they make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, and
not that it wasn't a big deal,
right.
but like
It's different. It's different all over. Like I just, up until that point, I did not think that kind of thing happened in like white people states. Like that's what I thought of Colorado as a time, as white people states. I was like, I thought that thing only happened in places like the Bay Area, LA, New York, the Philippines, according to my parents. I had a very limited view of where danger occurred.
Right.
And so when that thing happened at like in Colorado, like someplace like Colorado, I was like, I thought all they did was ski. You know what I mean? Like I had a very limited view of what people did out there.
why are you mad?
Exactly. It's beautiful. Like, why don't you just go skiing? Like,
exactly.
Like go to Aspen. Why are you
Did you do
bothered
this
by-
while skiing? Like, what the fuck?
I actually just watched a documentary on the what's it called, the Columbine kids.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy, man. Like they had like websites where they were talking about what they wanted to do, but I guess no one paid attention to that back then.
Yeah.
It was like Everything I Hate. The dude had a website called Everything I Hate.
Yeah.
And he would just type up like these. It was basically like a blog, and it was so hacky. But he would type like everything that he hated. He hated Star Wars fans.
You're the wrong fandom, dude.
I am a Star Trek guy. That's why.
I was about to say, like,
He lived long enough to see that scene with Anakin, with the kids.
yeah.
That's too much. That was crazy. I don't know why you veered off into
you
you weren't here, but
No.
we should start it off with a 9/11 thing.
Yeah.
And today is 9/11.
It is 9/11
I
today.
forgot.
Yeah.
Like
How-
legitimately.
How old were you 9/11? This is 5.
I was in first grade, so yeah, like 6.
Okay, you're not breastfeeding, so you're old enough to remember it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember getting. I stayed home from school or something like that.
Oh, really?
That's what, yeah, my mom had to stay home from school because.
I was thinking like, are they gonna bomb Richmond? Come on, like let me just go to school.
Well, you remember at the time they thought the next few places was going to be
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Yeah.
That was the immediate
I'll
thought.
come into California. They were like,
And it was like
turning conspiracy theories.
exactly. They was like, okay, so if the next time they attack, they will definitely go after the Bay Bridge. I mean, the Golden Gate Bridge. That was like that's what they thought the next thing, and they were like, and then maybe L.A. or Hollywood, but it was like
But there was nothing significant
So,
about.
but they was like, okay, California, it would be the Golden Gate Bridge. Will be the next thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when ISIS put out this like page of all the flags of places they wanted to attack, and Mexico was on there, and like Mexicans were making fun of that because like, look around. There's a meme where like there's like hella heads in the floor. They just chopped up. Like
I'm betting you.
how do you expect to make us like nervous?
yeah, like we do this ourselves.
Oh my gosh. I'm betting you when the attacks first happened, people were thinking that it was like the act of a nation or something. Like, what is this? Is this Korea? No, North Korea? Is this China? Is this? No, it's just a small collective of fucking goat fuckers. Damn it.
Gosh.
No, think about it. You're thinking we're the United States. It's got to be some sort of like place with resources and an army. And it's
Russia.
Like, no,
Russia.
like Russia, you know?
That was the one thing I remember from September 11th, because I remember it was one teacher who was talking a lot about it. They was like, we're going to find out who this is. It's probably going to be like, it's like going to be someplace big. It's either like Europe or something like that, like China or something. Like he was like, it's probably going to be someplace big, probably something we had history with, who are super mad at us, and that's why they did this.
Fucking billionaire. Have you heard?
What?
Billionaire.
Okay.
Well, those Almas were billionaires.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were.
You kind of threw me off. I was like,
Yeah, that was-
I didn't know. Like,
That joke just went.
They
Wasn't
were.
a joke.
Remember?
That's
Crash.
Yes, it's true.
Oh, Crash.
Sorry.
Nice.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, that was so bad.
You with the goat fuckers and you with that joke. You guys can't talk for the rest of the show, man.
Damn.
We're gonna get so canceled for this in like
I'm just
20
talking
years.
about Al Qaeda.
On my episode,
Can't
fuck
talk
yeah.
bad about Al Qaeda.
You do stand-up comedy.
First of all, it's Al Qaeda, and yeah, I just.
It's okay. He says Pacific.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
we
know
going
about
back to
that?
this shit.
It's an accent.
Let's go back to that shit. Yeah.
Al-Qaeda.
Nice.
no, he was nervous that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what he says.
He said.
So I say, do you remember the episode, dude?
Hey, what ocean are we close to?
Huh? The Atlantic. The Atlantic.
The Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Ocean.
You can't mix it up.
Going to the
Pacific and
Red Sea.
Pacific.
Specific and Pacific.
We're close to the Red Sea.
How long you been doing stand-up for?
That's a two-parter actually, because I started in 2006, and I quit in 2009 after like I ate a fat dick during a show in at San Francisco State, and I wasn't really making much progress as a comic, so I quit for like years, and then I came back in 2016. So probably about 9 years total.
Yeah, that was a one-parter.
Yeah. That's a big gap, but
It's a huge gap because I wanted to raise my kid and just get my shit together. Like
Yeah.
when I first got started, like I was like in my 20s, and I was not much different from people that age. Like I was getting fucked up. I was saying like dumb shit on stage. Like I was basically the kind of person that would have found like really shitty mics to be productive. Like it just nothing was happening, and so I wasn't really surprised. The one thing I did do that was really productive was I announced my pregnancy at Brainwash. and I kept the baby. So
Shout out to Tony Sparks. Yeah, there we go. How old is Joseph now?
Joseph.
Oh, my bad.
Jacob. His
My bad.
name is
Close.
Jacob.
That's not. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
oh, he just graduated, right?
Yeah, Jake graduated from middle school. He started high school last
Promotion.
month.
Nice.
Promotion last year.
Yeah,
It's crazy how fast.
yeah. This is why Tony Sparks is like legit the Godfather, because he found out about my pregnancy before my parents did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I didn't know how I was gonna tell my family. I was just like, so I was trying it out at an open mic, and then the friends that came with me, they were just like, yeah, hell yeah, let's take a shot. And I was like, I can't. They're like, oh, bitch, you weren't kidding. And I was like, no, bitch, no, no.
You mentioned that she's the best person to DM about other.
People's dumb shit.
Okay,
yeah.
no, we'll start before that. So Ivy is a hilarious comedian, but then it's also hella funny when we're on Facebook, and then Facebook beef is starting, and then Ivy is the best person to like, or just read the comment that she leaves under somebody, because people say that she's bullying, which really is happening. She just doesn't give a fuck, and she'll tell you exactly how she feels.
I mentioned that because I've seen I've seen like her, chewing some people out in a very poetic way.
It needs to be chewed out.
Needs to be chewed out, and I remember thinking, I want to hit her up because I hear she's funny to be on my show, but also what she's mean. So, like you kind of don't want to.
Exactly.
Like, look at this dumb motherfucker asked me to be on the show. And I see myself on the wanted list. Like on the.
Hey, there's no such thing as bad press, my friend.
Yeah,
That's not true, but
it's not true. I don't want to.
that is the dumbest
bad
saying in the
PR.
fucking world.
Yeah.
There is a total such thing as bad press.
Like I promise, I'm nice. I just don't take people's shit, especially when they're not qualified to say it.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what I mean?
What's an example of something that'll piss you off?
Okay, some asshole. So I posted a flyer.
Without saying names,
Of course.
Unless
I mean, I'd like.
we have that disclaimer. It's all good.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the names.
Say what you want.
Perfect. So, at the time I was running a Zoom show. Do you remember my Zoom show of the playlist?
I do.
Yeah, I was running that shit. And so like, at the time I had 2 comics from LA that were on the show. So I was like, maybe I'll put this in the LA comic group just to see, interest, because they were like pretty good comics. And I was like, let me see if people would be interested in watching this. And so I posted it, and like 5 minutes later, this random dude goes, Zoom comedy is not real comedy. And I was like, okay, that's great. Other people want to watch, so maybe keep it moving. And I forgot what he said to me that was like fucked up, but like it got me mad enough to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought a bitch with no credits said something. And he got dragged. He got dragged by a couple of other LA comics.
LA comic?
Yeah, it was an LA comic.
That shit hurts their feelings.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, like just where credits where? And then I posted it, and then Mean Dave was actually like, oh, I know him. That guy used to be a bouncer, and like he actually had like a room in LA where people would do feedback or something, and then he would record the sets and like and I guess do commentary on it. But like that thing was basically, it closed down during the pandemic, and according to Dave and Sean Boyles, they're just like, yeah, this guy had something going, and then because it closed during the pandemic, he just got hella bitter about people that were trying to do comedy about it. We're just like, if you don't like it, it's cool. It's like, none of us want to do Zoom comedy either, but like move around. Like we got to keep ourselves busy. Like
it's the only thing that was going on at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, you think I'd pick this over a live show, but like I'm also not trying to die. Like, go away.
It's either this or meth, bro.
Exactly.
Or possibly both.
Possibly both.
Meth keeps you focused, right?
And skinny.
Too busy writing jokes to eat.
Oh shit, yeah.
Jack in the Box, we don't know her. Just kidding. I would never say that. I love Jack in the Box.
They're expensive as fuck, but I hate Jack in the Box. I love Jack in the Box, but I hate Jack in the Box at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
They got like secret taxes, is what I always say.
They do?
Yeah.
No, they're just expensive as fuck.
Jack in the Box is expensive?
It got expensive.
It's hell expensive, dude.
They take forever to fucking get your food, man. That's the worst one.
No, KFC takes forever.
Wow.
I ain't be the KFC.
I don't know what it is
Popeyes
about
over
Jack
here.
in the Box.
I love
I've never
Popeyes.
liked them very much.
Yeah, Jack in the Box takes forever, though.
Jack in the Box, Wendy's, they're all hell expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a breakfast Jack is like over $2 now. Do you remember when it used to be 99 cents?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, now it's
Remember the
like
dollar
I wasn't old enough.
McDonald's?
Oh yeah. Yo, so the dollar menu got eradicated.
There was
because they especially for certain items, because remember they started doing like breakfast all day, so that kind of like killed the dollar menu.
Okay, hold on. Side note, they don't do breakfast all day anymore. That's bullshit.
Yeah. That's why they stopped doing
I love breakfast all day. McDonald's.
Breakfast.
That's bullshit.
I went to McDonald's for breakfast for the first time in God, I think it's over a year, and I'm not gonna lie, like
It hits the spot.
it was so like I had a chicken McGriddle.
Oh, that thing is.
It was so good.
Wait,
but,
you
like,
went to breakfast to get a chicken?
I did.
Not sausage, not pancake?
No, my mom I got 3 sandwiches. I got the sausage McMuffin. I
Okay.
couldn't make up my mind. I got the bacon bacon McGriddle. I was also very high, and then
Yeah,
I got the
McGriddle.
chicken McGriddle, and then I told my mom to pick one, and she picked the sausage one, and the bacon one. For some reason, I just was like, I want something that's meatier, that gives me some bite. I just needed like to put something in my mouth. Like I've been having kind
What
of.
time did you wake up to get a chicken sandwich?
I took my son to school, so this was probably around
8:30.
like 8:30.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those chicken McGriddles are not good, though.
That's a bad combo.
That's a waste of breakfast.
It's
a
like
waste of chicken.
You gotta try dipping it though.
No.
You gotta dip it in Chick-fil-A sauce.
Oh, okay.
Why would you wait? Why would you
have to go-
If you have to go to another restaurant to make this sandwich good, just get the regular breakfast.
I have a
Or get the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
I have a bottle. Hey, I have a bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce in my refrigerator, so I didn't actually have to go to another store. Like
which is smart.
that's a whole other level of like fat.
Probably at the store.
You can get it at a store. You can get it at Target or
Chick-fil-A
something.
sauce is
Yeah.
good.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever been to Chick-fil-A.
See, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
You used to do this about other-
Chick-fil-A
I'm
is
sorry.
the in and out of chicken sandwich.
I don't like
Yeah.
In-N-Out though.
Oh, well.
This
Well,
asshole.
what's something you like?
I love McDonald's.
Well, fucking Chick-fil-A is a McDonald's of chicken.
Like some of my friends give me.
Well, I mean, I just compared it because it just feels so like, just so different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's on another level. compared
It's
to
when they
other
specialize in something, it really is fucking good. Sorry, you were saying?
Oh no. Just I think some of my friends give me a hard time about going to Chick-fil-A because of what their owner, like his ideals and like homophobic.
Well,
so-
that's why I kind of didn't want to go either.
Right, but it just that chicken is so banging. So like there was a point where every time I went to Chick-fil-A, I would make a donation to the Trevor Project or GLAAD, like just a sort of atone for
balance it out, yeah.
atone for my own guilt because that's some good. Like I'm sorry, but this homophobic ass chicken is just oh my god, it's so good.
You know what's funny? I was
And they have it at the airport.
I
What?
was on the phone with my mom, and she was like, "What are you eating for lunch?" And I was like, "I'm at Chick-fil-A." She doesn't know what that is. And I was trying to explain to her where it was. And I was like, "It's that guy, the burgers that hit gays." And then she's like, "Oh,
That guy.
yeah." That's how she figured out where I went to eat. It's where they hit gays. Those chickens.
Yeah, damn.
That's
So you do comedy, right?
Sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, so 2016 is like when you restarted.
Yeah. Because like I was.
That's a real resurrection. Not like we thought you had quit for all that time.
Oh yeah. Like it was like I had started.
She doesn't know about this.
Wait, what happened?
So in 2012 I started doing comedy and stuff like that.
2013 he quit.
And then 2013 I quit. Or it was a rumor that everybody was like, Corday, yo, he was hella funny. He quit though. And I was like, like, who the fuck said I quit? I was like, I just been waiting to do shows, and everybody was like, I was gonna book you on a show, but I heard you quit.
That fucking hurts.
One time, I forgot who asked me, "You seen Corday?" And I was like, "Oh, you didn't hear, man." I just left it at that.
That's fucked up.
Oh, you didn't hear, and then I walked away. Didn't say anything to the dude.
So yeah, everybody was spreading rumor.
Everybody quit.
Yeah, everybody spread a rumor in 2013 that I had quit, and I didn't. And then so I'm like coming back around. So he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm so glad." People's like, "Yo, you finally back, dude. I'm so happy you didn't quit. You came back." I was like, "I never quit it. Like, what? Who the fuck?"
But weren't you in Santa Cruz though?
No, I was in Santa Barbara. That was
Santa Barbara.
I left in 2014.
Oh, okay,
Fall
gotcha.
2014.
I
And
kind
I'm
of
still
helped.
comedy out there.
I kind of helped
Okay.
spread those rumors.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I bet you did.
You
yeah.
started those rumors?
Well, not to start them, but I just like
You helped.
Perpetuated them.
You helped out.
I went with it.
Yeah.
I went with it.
Knowing damn well that he didn't quit.
Well, I didn't even know who he was.
We weren't.
You didn't know if he was alive.
We weren't
I-
close like that because
we were close.
you were to me. We were probably like, "You're Johan's friend." I'm like,
Yeah.
"You're Johan's friend."
You're
too."
Johan's friend
Right,
to me,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's how it was.
Are you guys like the same age?
No,
Year apart.
Year apart. Yeah.
Yeah, we're.
Who's older?
He is.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait. So what was the difference when you came back? Like, what did you do different?
Yeah.
Well,
You're
so-
obviously doing great now.
Thank you. So when I first started, I think the biggest difference was that I wasn't focused. I had a lot of like turmoil going on in my personal life, and then when I came back, like by then I had a kid. I had like some grown up responsibilities. I was like I had gone through a like separation. Like I used to be married, not to my son's father, but I married some other dude because hoe is life, and like these things happen. Weed's a hell of a drug, and so like I was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this again, I'm gonna do this right. Like let's see what happens if let's say I don't drink during shows, I don't party, I don't fuck everybody around me. You know, that didn't happen for another 3 years. And so like I was just kidding. That's fucked up. Like I was just like, I'm gonna do this the correct way. I'm not gonna get caught up in the whole, because I think a lot of people do get caught up in the whole social aspect of the comedy scene, and which was
And shit.
yeah, exactly. Like, and they just look at it as sort of like there's like an extension of their social life, and I'm like, let me see if I keep myself away from this stuff, what's gonna happen. So I kind of just, the only thing I did was I hit up the people that I remembered from when I was gone, which was one of them was Joseph Annalyn, who
Who?
You've never met Joseph?
Don't recall.
He's a beast, dude.
You don't know him?
I was about to say, how the fuck you're in the Bay Area, you don't know Joseph?
No, I was about to say, how do you
I say
know
that-
Joseph and he works at fucking Copper Spoon? You're always be at Copper
Oh, you
Spoon and
piece
shit
of
like that. I was like, you've done a ton of shit at Copper Spoon. Stop
No,
lying.
I'm fucking with him because I invited him to be on the show and he was always busy. He's like, who? Sorry, I've never heard of him.
Yeah, because we started out as theater kids, and so like Joseph and I, we actually started at the same time because Kevin Kamiya, he mentored us, like because he put together the first workshop that was for the kids at our theater. Well, not kids, but we were all like kids in our 20s basically.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started comedy. And so like he was one of the few people I remembered that was still doing it, that hadn't that hadn't like moved. He was a few
in New York or something.
He was a few years away from moving to New York, and so yeah, I hit him up, not even to be like, give me shows, I'm back. I just let him know, like I was just like, hey, what are the mics that are going on now, blah blah blah. And then I hit up a few more people. Like there was one point where I went to Brainwash's anniversary, and I didn't know anybody. Like I didn't know anybody that was on the stage at the time. I mean, I do now, but like
all brand new faces.
yeah, I didn't know anybody, so I just walked in. I sat down without saying anything to anybody, and then Tony Sparks came and he put a cupcake next to me on the table that I was sitting at, gave me a hug, and said, "Welcome back."
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I'd been gone for years, and I cried all the way home. I was just like, I guess I can take this shit seriously. So that's what
That
made
guy's
me
an angel.
He is. Like, he's fucking great. So I think the biggest difference is just I have more discipline. Like, I have more discipline. I'm, something that I have to keep in the back of my mind too. Like, whenever I think about some of the dumb shit that trips people up, I'm like, no matter how much I love this, like, I don't get paid enough to take any of this home into my personal life.
Yeah.
It's the whole separation between, the fact that this is still a job and you still have to be somewhat professional, even though you like dragging people on Facebook.
Exactly,
Still
yeah.
have to be professional.
Especially if you have kids.
Right.
Yeah. Because like I don't want Jacob, my son. I don't want him out there like, my mom, I don't want to be that person, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's stuff that I'm not saying that I don't do stuff, but like there's some stuff that I just don't. It's not on the surface. You know what I mean? I keep that shit separate because
Is there a big worry that you have as a parent and a comic at the same time? That is, I don't know. Is there anything like that?
Like, I mean, I want, if anything, like sometimes I worry whether, my son thinks that I'm doing comedy just for fun or to be out of the house. But at the same time, it's just, I've always worked. I've always been a working parent. I've always explained to him from the time I was young, even when the only job I had was my tech job. And also I used to be a sex educator. So, that part, like, the one thing I wanted to, the one thing I was really concerned about was whether he could make the separation of I'm going out of the house and I'm gone so often because I'm actually working towards something as opposed to I'm just kicking it and leaving you behind. But I think now he gets it. He's
old enough.
He's going to be 15 in a couple of months.
Has he seen you perform?
Yeah.
He has.
Does he think you're funny?
He does not. He doesn't give a fuck. Like he'll just like, all right, when do we eat? Like he's not really impressed. He's just like when he was younger.
He likes the perks and stuff.
Exactly. Like
He's always annoyed. He always has
when he was
Mom
young,
thinks she's so funny.
I was like, God, Mom. I remember one time because he's getting into shape. He's like at the age where he's like lifting weights and he's interested in that kind of thing, right? And so he's like, Mom, how come we haven't gone to the gym this week, right? And I was like, I tweaked my back, like lifting something else, and I was explaining to him, I was like, sometimes when you get old, your body doesn't, your body doesn't recover the same way. And he's like, he was like, I guess all those jokes you have about looking young are backfiring on you.
We get it from his mom.
So when's his first show?
I was like, whose fucking health insurance are you on? Watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Apple not falling far from the tree.
No, he got jokes. I'm like, God damn.
Would you be supportive if he wanted to do comedy, like at a young age?
As
18?
as long as he did good shows with good people. Like, I don't want him to be some sort of like bullshit ass edgelord that just wanted to be an asshole for no reason and just started fights on Facebook. I mean, not that I start fights, I finish them. That's a difference. But like, I just, I don't want him to be like one of those crazy motherfuckers. You've seen those people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny that you talk about like the apple not falling far from the tree. Riggins brings his kids to the Copper Spoon. They're always there. Yeah. And yesterday, two comics, I won't say their names, were having a conversation. She was standing next to them like this. Then I asked her, "What's wrong?" It's like, I've been listening to these fools' conversation. Not a single funny sentence has come out of their mouth.
Was this he was?
I hate her.
I love her. I love her.
That's the youngest one, right?
Yeah, dude. She got jokes.
She got jokes.
I love them.
She's not funny though. She's not funny.
I love them both. They got jokes, man.
No, she's not funny.
Look who their
No, I'm
father
gonna tell a
is.
story. She's not funny though. So me and Brian are talking about me and like my girlfriend at the time, or we broke up or something like that, right? And like I was like, I was
This
really,
is why you say
yeah. I know exactly. So it was like one of those times where it was like I was like, I was trying stuff like that. I was out there, then like like it's hard because like she's like an hour and a half away, but I try to go out there and things like that. And then so she said she doesn't have time for me. I was trying to see her, and then I make time, but she doesn't show up and stuff like that. So then she walks up to me, she's like, "Sorry that your girlfriend is cheating on you," and I was like, "Oh." So that's why she's not funny, but yeah.
You want to know something else she said? I heard something else that she said after to Bryant. Yeah. And then she's pulled up to Bryant and said, "I'm starting to think this girl doesn't exist."
Bryant didn't tell me that.
It was. Yeah.
Bryant told me that.
Yeah. Because in the moment, because that was like I was like, God damn, that shit. I was like, I was not ready. I was like, she doesn't exist, it was funny as shit though, because I was just like, God damn, like I wasn't even ready for that, because she was sitting there and I was supposed to be like,
when
what?
it comes from a kid, it like slaps you harder.
It's way harder. Way harder.
My niece, she's like a little fucking Don what's it name? Don Rickles.
Okay.
We go back and forth. She's 7. She's gonna be 17 now.
Okay.
And whenever we have an argument, like you're like, oh yeah, well you still do this, we go back and forth. Yeah. Her like the other day, she's like, yeah, you're fucking 32 with the podcast. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I don't know why that stung her.
Yeah. That's a good
This
thing, though.
is why that old rule of children should be seen and not heard was a thing.
And that was my immediate thought when Chris Riggins' daughter said that. I was like, "This should be seen and not heard." Like
the Victorians, folks in the Victorian era said, "Nope, shut up."
You told Riggins to scold her.
No, I think I told him like, "Hey, stop bringing your kids around here, dude." I was like, "Well, the one who works here, she's cool, but the other one, you need to leave her at home." He was like, "Why, Corday? I want to spend time with my kids." I was like, "No, you can spend time with one. Leave the other one home." And then Brian walked up. He's like, "Hey, nigga, hey." hey, nigga, I'll tell you why. Let's go outside. Like, let's go. I'll tell you why we have it.
Sounds exactly like.
Your daughter is bullying grown men.
So that was
At a bar too.
At a bar. So that was like the joke for like a month and a half. Like she would walk up to me, she'd just be like this, like she just like tap me. I was like, don't you fucking touch me, all right?
Fuck a wingman. I just want you to come with me everywhere.
Exactly. And so Brian was like, I was like, nigga, she still fucking with your ass? She said, I was like, no, she didn't say nothing to me, but she would kind of like, she would hear.
Wait, how old are they?
Should look at you.
I think she's like 12 or 13. So yeah. And
Dude, I could just imagine you making like a TikTok and be like, all right, this is serious, guys. You guys need to stop bullying us. 13-year-old at a bar bullying me before I go on stage.
Let me trade Jacob for his deal. I feel like that would be more support.
Yeah.
More of the kind of support I need.
You know, it'd be great. Throw a what's it called with your niece, their kids and stuff. Throw kids and all kids comedy. Kids of comedy.
Oh my god, that's scary.
That is scary.
We gotta sign a.
I've seen some funny ass kids though.
Yeah, no, there's a kid doing stand up right now, right?
Luke.
Luke. Luke Branches. Yeah.
14?
Yeah, he just turned 14. Yep.
Yeah, he was a
Freshman in high
Copper
school.
Spoon, right?
Huh?
He was a Copper Spoon.
He's a Copper Spoon. He did stand-ups at improv. Yeah, he's doing it.
He's been doing comedy for a while, right?
His brother's also a
like
comic.
2 years.
His brother's comic.
Yeah, Wyatt. He told me his brother just did the whole like UK
14
tour,
years old.
like the
Holy
whole
crap.
summer. I was like talking to him. I'm trying to do the same thing.
And his mom comes to the shows.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was doing one of Mean Dave's shows. Was it Lily Max? I was doing that one with Luke. And every time we told a joke, like his mom was just sitting right there, and I felt so bad, but I didn't have any jokes that didn't involve dicks. So I just said it, and I just looked at her super apologetically, like just. And I think at one point I used the word like I think appendage instead of dick, and then like I was like, dude, she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She's not my mom. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But she's all cool. I'm like, God, this still feels weird. It still feels weird. Like even when.
Yeah, you have to know as a parent, like if your kid's 14 years old doing comedy with adults, like, you know what's happening.
I feel bad.
You ever do that where you trying to like kind of change your okay? I did the show I got booked on, and it was a
As a middle school.
It was a black church.
Ooh.
They put this show together.
Awkward.
And the thing is, most people were laughing. I noticed right in front, the one person that wasn't laughing with his wife was I didn't know till later on he was a pastor.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
And I do that joke about Jesus and turning my water into wine.
Yeah.
And when I did that one, he looked at his wife and went.
See, he's got to set a good example for his flock. He's like, I can't, even if you want
But
to.
also don't book a comedian then.
I didn't know it was gonna go like
A non-Christian comedian.
I got fucking paid.
I've seen some of those. They're just so bad.
Well, did Joe Hill book that show or no?
No. This is another. He runs shows in Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember because Joe Hill
He
wanted.
had Lance Woods this week as headliner.
Oh, shit.
The day I went,
Yeah.
it was me and what was that guy's name? Mario Hodge.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mario's fucking character.
Yeah.
Dude. He's fucking amazing.
Yeah, killed it. He killed it.
I bet he did. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was awkward because I was like, oh fuck, I didn't know until after that it was like, you know,
They would have passed
mostly church people.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, so you cussing?
who
Were you cussing?
I did, but so did Mario.
Okay.
But Mario he didn't talk about religion.
Yeah. Oh, you said like a Jesus joke and you didn't know it was like all church people in here.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mostly, not all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mostly.
Gotcha.
So do you ever have that where you like
She's texting. She's not even paying attention.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Welcome to the voice party, everybody.
we took an intermission?
Took a 6-year intermission.
It's my fault.
We just came back from our sponsor. The Voice Party has a sponsor now. There we go.
Sorry, I tuned out when I realized you guys were talking about like church and a pastor. I was like, this is something I have absolutely no knowledge of. What was the question? What was
No.
Oh, you've never heard of somebody getting booked to do comedy at a church?
No, not a church, but you ever like seen like other than that, like where you go and you see someone that you're like, oh god, I don't want to do a dick joke in front of this gentle old lady.
Oh my god! I I did the Brea Improv for the first time last month, and it was
nice.
there was a couple of professional milestones that I hit. One, it was the first time that I'd been there, like even as a comedian, like it was just period. Thank you. It was my first time hosting a really large, like sort of higher profile Filipino show, right? Which was sort of scary for me. Thank you, because that's not really like it's never really been. I was like my target audience, but like there's not a ton of Filipino stuff that happens around here, right? So
Yeah.
and so I was going into my Roe versus.
Unless you go to a casino.
No, exactly. Or Daly City. So like I was performing. So I had a joke about Roe versus Wade and some like abortion shit, and then for some reason I looked at the audience and I made eye contact with this woman that probably looked like somebody that was my mom's age, and it just felt like. And here's the thing: my mom comes to comedy shows a lot, so I know she likes the grossest shit that I say. She doesn't care.
I'm very disappointed in you, Ivy.
Right, but this woman was just like arms crossed, looking at me like she passed me the donation plate, and all that came out was like Chuck E. Cheese tokens. You know what I mean? Like she had that look of disapproval, and I was like, "Fuck, dude." I was like, "Let me just try to get through this set and like let these guys focus on actual funny people." Yeah. Like it was very unnerving. It's because I'm so used to being able to say whatever I want to say around my family. Like my family, I'm not even the funny one in my family. Like everybody in my family like roast each other. They're all very bold and like extroverted and things like that. And so sometimes when I'm around other Filipinos, I forget that not everybody like has that relationship with their family where they could just like roast each other all the time and just talk shit. And so it just felt really, really weird. I was like,
it's awkward when you bring other people that don't treat their family members like that sometimes.
Yeah. I'm just like, like, what do you mean you can't tell your dad to fuck off when he says something hilarious? Like, this what? It's just very strange.
You guys just call each other a bitch.
It's disrespectful. What are you doing?
Who do you think is the funniest person in your family?
Probably my mom.
Your mom?
Okay. Yeah, like 5 years ago I would have said my dad, but my mom said some fucked up shit. Like my mom and I would get our nails done and things like that because something that I do, and this is probably like a real good pro tip if you guys are into things like taking care of yourself and just haircuts and things like that. I write this off, so I write off like my hair, nails, like anything pertaining to beauty. Because I mean, as entertainers, we're supposed to not look like shit, right?
I should do that.
Yeah, so I write this off, and so my mom comes with me, and she's like, "Well, you're getting your nails." She was like, "Let's go get her nails done because you're gonna get this back in your tax return anyway." I'm like, "Okay, cool." All I have to do is take my mom to get her nails done or her hair done or a massage, and like after 2 hours, I already know everything about everyone in my family. Like I know who owes somebody money. I know who's dropped out of college and didn't tell anybody.
That's hella
like
funny.
I know who's cheating on somebody. I know whose kids aren't actually the people who say they are. Like I know all that shit. Like my mom's so fucking funny.
Now all your cousins are gonna be like, which one of us is?
It's gonna be like Clue.
Oh my goodness.
Oh shit, that's the kind of shit.
You didn't think about that, huh?
No, I didn't think you were. That's pretty. I'm still tripped out about the haircut. Like you could write that off.
Yeah, you could write anything. You can go to lunch and just talk about your business, and that's a write-off.
Yep. Also,
Like we could, if we go to dinner. Oh, I'm sorry.
Should be writing this shit
since
off.
we're YouTubers, we can write off
No,
'cause
seriously.
we sometimes do reviews, right? Every now and then,
Yeah.
we can write off subscriptions to HBO Max, Netflix, all that stuff,
You
and
can-
say it's for content for the show.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
3 years
I'm
into
starting
this shit, I find out all this. That's. I'm gonna fucking.
I found that out recently.
Secure that bag, dude. Like make that money.
Yeah.
Get your money. Get
the
what's
monthly-
yours.
Is it easy to do that though?
I have somebody that does it for me, but like if you have,
Do you
if
just have to keep receipts or what?
keep receipts, keep your statements. If you have like paperless statements and things like that, which is good for the environment or some bullshit, like just save that to PDF forms. Everything. Just make sure that you have like
see, that's kind of a
just like with all the shit that happens with comedy. Keep receipts. Screenshot. Keep the receipts.
Yeah.
Right.
True facts. Yeah.
Right now, you're a single mom.
Yeah.
How's that navigating? Like, how does that work when like going out other cities for stand up?
So I have a ridiculous amount of support from both my family, and when I say I'm a single mom, I'm single in the sense that I'm not married, but my son's father, like he lives in Fremont, like and his stepmom, like we're hella cool. Like it's just all of us have creative side hustles because his dad works in like film and television. He's also a photographer, and so all of us, it's a pretty good balance of like helping each other out because they've also got 2 little kids that are under the age of 10. So Jacob's independent. He's at the point where like sometimes he could watch himself. Sometimes he'll go with my dad and play tennis. Like my parents are around too, so it's like there's always someone to watch him.
So I was thinking about that, like when I see when we have a lot of peers that are single parents.
Yeah.
And especially if you're at shows a lot, like whenever I've come close,
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I was thinking about that. Like, what if I get a gig over in LA for the weekend last minute? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you have a kid.
Yeah. I mean, it was harder. It was a lot harder when he was younger. You know, like when he was like 7, 8. Like, this is also why I was gone for like 8 years, because I was like, I can't justify. You know, not to mention
when
I
he was
just
little.
Yeah. Not to mention I just didn't have the same kind of discipline that I do now. But like, you know, now that I think when I went back to comedy to really pursue it, he was already like in, you know, finishing up like elementary school, like going into middle school, and just becoming just more independent. It became easier. But yeah, dude, like my parents are around. Sometimes I wouldn't take certain gigs unless I could take him with me. Like when I did a lot of the North Bay shows, he would come with me because like there used to be a show at this place called Belly, and the thing I liked about it, besides just loving the North Bay in general, is that
Where was that at, Billy?
it was in Santa Rosa, and so they would make pizzas, and they would just ask us, what do we want on the pizza? And one time Jacob was in the background, he yelled, pork belly. And I was just like, they're not going to do that. And then we got there, they fucking had a pork belly pizza, and Jacob was like, he went to town. He was like, you're going to be here for a while, right? Just start eating the pizza. And at the time, so Butch Escobar was the headliner, and I was like, you got to leave at least 2 pieces for Butch. Like, that's, you can't have this bomb-ass pizza and not leave any. Like, Jacob, come on. Like, who raised you? Like, just...
He's like, you dude.
He's like, says you, mom.
Like, he's like eating pizza and stuff like that. So
2 slices for Butch.
I was like, you gotta leave him something. You can't have this bomb ass shit and just not let him. You know, like you could smell it but not eat it. Like you can't have that.
Right, just in the back, just like you smell on headline. I'm like, oh, there's some good pizza out there. Well, I
Yeah.
can't wait. And you get out there, there's nothing.
Yeah.
You work with techies, so I want to ask you, how are techies as the audience members?
Oh my god, I hate them, dude. Like
Dude, musicians say the same thing when they play shows like in Cupertino that I know, like bands are like, oh, they're so boring.
no, like the reason I say this is because like so I misspoke. I've been in tech for 16 years. I think 17 years will be this coming year because I started in 2006. And so like I remember working in tech back before the first bubble burst, before the first recession, which was I think 2008, like when my son was born. And so when I've seen the way that tech and the people in it have progressed, I've just gotten progressively more disappointed. And it's just like when I see the way that the young techies are now, it makes me understand why everybody around them hates them.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like just they're so like they're cocky. They think that they're entitled to shit. And when I first split up from my ex-husband and I started going on Tinder and things like that just to see what I was missing, I would always link up with these tech guys, and I'm just like, they're so obnoxious. I was like, if you don't get me off, I'm gonna steal something from your apartment. Like I didn't feel bad. I was like, no.
That's the clip.
I was thinking that was my immediate.
Is that a bit? You?
No. Like it's just
Is that going to be a bit now?
No. I think it's like a sentiment that a lot of people have whenever they're hooking up with somebody that's that young that has no business making that much money. So the actual bit that I have is like where I talk about this is like it's just weird because these guys were like 22, 23, like 24, and they're like engineers, like developers, like they work in coding. They're like computer programmers, and which is so foreign to me because like when I was 22 and 23, like you know what I was doing? I was selling ecstasy and working at Old Navy. Like we're not the same.
Yeah.
We're not the same. There's another comedian that has a really good joke though about like wanting to rob somebody. I think it's like she's my girl, Shannon Murphy. Like she has a really good joke. I don't know how her joke goes, but like the punchline is, I should rob them. And it's just every time I think about that one, I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good. Like
you know, she has a joke about hooking up with like a techie also or something like that.
Yeah.
Like super quiet.
Where it ends with
that was nice of me.
that was really
I love her. Like all her jokes about tech, like they're so awesome. And I think like we should probably like she and I should probably talk about that too because her jokes I think are specific to like tech guys in the South Bay, where she's from. When I like
it's a different monster.
It's a different monster. Like seeing SF now, which is all like so saturated with the whole tech culture, it's changed the landscape of what San Francisco looks like, which is why I understand why San Francisco natives want to burn these motherfuckers down. Like, and it's weird because like I work in tech, so you have
both. You see both sides.
Yeah, like I work in tech, so I know like fiscally I benefit from this, but like as a girl that grew up in Hayward and worked in tech from when I was younger and
Chola Goth from Hayward.
Exactly. Chola Goth. That was also inexplicably in show choir, like in Glee. Yeah, dude, I fucking like I hated everybody in show choir, dude. Like the only thing I liked about it was traveling and getting finger blasted to Drew Hill songs. Other than that, like it had no value to my life whatsoever.
Second clip.
Second clip.
Second clip.
Which Drew Hill song got you off the best?
Tell me what you want. No, I don't know.
And that's the third.
Oh shit.
Ooh, no business grinding to that.
Oh god.
You just gave us TikToks for a week in the span of like 30 seconds.
Oh my god, I should follow you guys on TikTok.
Bro, I'm still laughing at that. I'm still something.
Yes, everyone should follow us on TikTok.
Corny looks like he just found out his grandma died. Like, that's how hard he's laughing right now.
Like one of my very best friends, and we've been best friends since we were 5. She had a horrible relationship. And this had to have been. It wasn't like abusive. He was just an asshole. But they lived together for a long time. So every time he would make her cry, I would steal something from his apartment. Like I think at one point I had his entire DVD collection.
Oh shit.
He was home so infrequently that I don't know if this motherfucker ever noticed, but like I remember we were going to get Jack in the Box or whatever, and then I forgot for whatever reason we went to get groceries, and then she popped the trunk and she was like, "What are all these DVDs doing here?" I was like, "You need to break up with this guy."
Stealing to get even.
Yeah.
What was some of the best movies you got out of that DVD
God,
collection?
I'm pretty sure I got a whole it was like a whole
DVDs you said?
Yeah, they were all DVDs. So I had like I think MacGyver or Sex in the City, like a bunch of things like that he had he had
How old
movies.
is this guy?
Yeah. Why did he have Sex in the City? Well, never mind. Sex in the City was slept on. I used to
It
watch
did,
it.
yeah. He had like just a bunch of like random action movies, like Die Hard. He had a lot of Die Hard. He loved that shit.
Yeah. He had like 6 versions.
We always
The director's cut.
I try to ask every comic here.
Yeah.
Every time we have one. What's one of the crazy experiences you've had in a show?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna compile a bunch of these together because I have so much good ones, and
Okay, so there. Okay, there used to be this. Sorry, that was fucked up. There used to be this open mic at a strip club called. So do you guys remember this? So the strip.
Detox's show.
Yeah. So Crazy Horse, right? And so at that point I had never done dabs before. Yeah, like I grew up in Hayward, so I mean I grew up doing things like drinking Mad Dog 2020 and like smoking like Bammer weed, but I did not know what a dab was, and so like this comic who's a friend of mine, he's now in New York. You guys know Joe Gorman?
Yep.
Joe Gorman helped me do my first couple of dabs.
One of the nicest guys.
So nice. Like he had to hold my hair back because my shit was like almost like setting on fire. I was like, is it like this? I didn't know how to do it. I was like, this looks like a meth lab, but for weed. I don't understand.
Yep, sure does.
I was so fucked up that I was looking for my car after the mic was over, but I was hella fucked up and I didn't know where I was walking, and I was wearing a dress. And you don't want to be walking around near like Eddy Street and all those streets like fucking at 2:30 in the morning looking for your fucking car.
Hell no.
I eventually found it because I was like, I gotta stop somewhere and pee, and so I was just like, I'm just gonna lean on this. Like I put my hand on this random car and lifted up my dress to go pee, and I was like, oh, this is my car. Okay, great. That's how I found my fucking car.
And then you stopped to pee, otherwise you would have kept on going.
Right, I was just like, because I've been walking around like for almost 20 minutes. I was just getting
Turns out
sweaty.
you're just doing circles around the
my car,
for
dude.
3 hours.
I was like, I should pee.
That was your first time dabbing?
That was my first time dabbing.
What year was this?
God, when was that? Was that mic around in like, was it 2018?
2018, 2019.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
I was there the first time Rudy Ortiz dabbed. It was my homie. He was a stoner like in 8th grade.
Yeah. Wow.
So once he got dabs, like that was all he was all about. We went to go. It was some show in Berkeley. I forgot what it was called. Some theater.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I just went to hang out, and my homie was filling up his little pen for dabs, and Rudy was like, we were like, hey Rudy, you want to smoke? Like, yeah. Then he saw my homie loading up the dabs in that little thing, and he's like, oh no dog, I thought you meant weed. That's what Rudy said. And I'm like, this is, and he explained to him like, all right, well fuck it, let's do it. He took like the biggest hit.
Oh god.
Like, like crackhead hit.
Yeah,
and he's like, hey man, take it easy. This shit's pretty strong. He's like, I just told you it's concentrated. He's like, oh okay. He took like 3 more hits. And then Rudy was like, oh fuck.
And then he died.
It's like blood from his face just drained. and he looked pale. And then Lyle Behrens comes out and he's like, "Hey, Rudy, you're next."
I was there, dude. I was there. Yes, I was there.
Hey, and you know what? I told he just walked in, and then my friend said, "God bless that guy."
I was there, dude, because I was like, I think I was there because I remember like
you were.
And then because me and Rudy, we always do live show.
How did Rudy's set go?
It was missing a lot of parts. I was like, it was funny because he started strong and then he kind of faded in the middle, kind of like, and then Loud didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, oh, he just hit some. I told him he just hit some weed. He was, what the fuck? All these motherfuckers smoking on my goddamn show.
That was the one. That was I was decided right then and there. I'll never do that.
Yep, that's always the experience. Yep.
Dabs are dangerous, dude. I'm like, no.
Dude, that shit's just like the whole firing up the torch.
Yeah, you would
puts me off.
You would think that after that I learned that lesson.
Nope.
So absolutely not. So like I did the Gateway show. You guys heard of the Gateway show, right? Yeah. So I did this. I wish I remember. Was it over this? It was a few months ago, and Frank Castillo was on that show, and so he has this thing that it was like a light up thing that looked like it basically looked like we were smoking a bong that was made out of the aggro crag from Guts. You guys remember that show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Classic Nickelodeon. Sports competition.
Yeah, it's basically like American Gladiators for children. Oh. Yeah. Like I auditioned for that show when I was 11. So that's how old I am.
You went out to like the studios out in Florida.
They had auditions at Great America.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
I remember that.
My parents had to sign a waiver. I came home fucked up. They're just like, so you're not doing it. I was like, no.
My mom was like, she's like, I'm not driving that far. That's too damn far. I was like,
what were the auditions like?
It was like
an obstacle course, like a lot of climbing, like
wait, what's it called?
Guts.
Oh, they had another one.
They tried to bring it back.
They tried to bring it back, but it was
Double Dare,
something like that. Yeah,
Double Dare was tight too. Yeah.
Damn, dude!
Shout out to Mark Somerville.
Yeah.
I remember my older cousins talking about that in San Jose, or wherever the fuck.
It was because of Great America, and I was like, Mom, I was like, I could be on Nickelodeon and stuff like that. She was like, well, at first I was like, I asked her, can you take me to this thing so I could probably be on TV? She's like, what the hell are you talking about? Something like that. And then she never saw the show, so she didn't think it was real. And then and then I was like, Mom, I was like, I could have been on Nickelodeon. She's like, you could have been on what? Like the thing you be watching all the time? I was like, yeah. And then we watched the show. She's like, you could have been on that. I was like, yeah, but somebody said it was too far. Somebody said it was
me and my brother were in LA. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Me and my brother were in LA one time, and this lady came up to us, and she's like, yeah, I'm a casting agent for Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on Disney. She's like, your boys would be perfect, like, background characters, blah, blah, like, you should get them an audition. And do you guys live out here? And my mom goes, no, we're from the Bay Area. She goes, well, I mean, can you guys make it out here? My mom goes, no, we're not interested. And now that we're in a band and stuff, and we're trying to, like, do this, and we're like, that's one of the biggest resentments I have. Mom, we could have been on Disney Channel.
You could have had residuals.
Yeah.
For real.
Kids don't get residuals.
What's that?
You got any TV credits?
I do not. Not yet. Like, I'm also a bitch with no credits. So, like, I just, like, like, I have credibility, but, like, I have not done any, like, late night shows, anything like that. Like, I've done probably every club from here to San Diego, but I have no TV credits as of yet.
Are you trying to get credits?
At some point, yeah.
Isn't everyone?
Well, because it's different now, man. Like, there's people getting on past without any credits or, like, doing shit without any
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, but that would be cool though.
That would be
fun. Of course it would, but there's a lot of people.
Oh, like, meaning is that like a goal?
Yeah,
like at some point.
Maybe having your own sitcom, like some comedians.
Before I get off track, I didn't mean to cut you off. Before I get off track, the reason I brought up the aggro crag is that's what it looked like we were smoking out of at the Gateway show.
Right, we got way
fucking
off.
stoners. I was like, wait a second. I know I brought that up. I was like, I brought that up for a reason. I was like, why did I do that? Fucking ADHD. Sorry. So like, so we're smoking out of this. I didn't realize that it was a rig. That it was. So we were basically doing dabs out of this thing, and I thought it was just a regular ass bong, but no, it was. I took like 3 back-to-back shots. Jesus. I was fucked up, and I don't really remember how the rest of the show went, except that we were all supposed to. Some of us were supposed to go to the Comedy Store afterwards, and I get there, and I'm standing like in the fucking hallway, and my homegirl who's with me, who does my hair, she's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, I don't know where I am. So I picked up the phone and I called Frank. I was like, "You need to come get me." He was like, "What happened to you? Where are you?" And I was like, "I don't know." In retrospect, I realized I was actually by the original room, but like at that point, the only thing that I'd been to was the belly room. I'd been to, I hadn't been to any of those other places. I was like, he's like, "Can you describe what's around you?" And I was like, people. Fucked up. So fucked up. And then he eventually came to get me, and the only other thing I remember about the night is that I was we were in some like outdoor area, I guess a sacred something or other, and I was in a fucking 4 blunt rotation with people that I've only seen on TV.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Anyone in particular? Or?
Can't name names, but it was a very, very wild night, and I'm glad I had somebody that was sort of sober with me to like verify that all that shit happened, because I was just like, I don't remember anything that happened, but my mouth's hella dry, so I know at least I didn't suck dick. Like, did something else? Like, she was like, no, just a lot of blunts, and I was like, thank God. I was like, good.
Yeah, I wouldn't pass an opportunity to get really stoned with like people.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I'll tell you guys off the record, but like, yeah it was
for
great.
sure.
Cool. I want to know.
I want to know.
I do too. I do 3.
I love gossip.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Like I have friends who have told me stories about. Well, we had one, but he didn't say it on air.
Yeah.
He used to be a dealer for like very famous athletes.
Yeah.
And he told me a story. Well, not famous, but like warriors back in the 90s.
Well, yeah.
But he told me he told me a story.
Not famous, just the Warriors.
Nobody important, just the president of the fucking United States.
You guys remember CB, the guy, the musician? Yeah. Well, he told me the story where he dropped off like a pound of weed for a point guard for the Warriors at the time, and he said the dude was drunk, so drunk he was crawling to the front door. probably on some other shit too.
Goddamn.
He opened the door and he's like,
So sorry, that was fucked up.
No, you're good.
So it's like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, he said when he like paid him for the weed, he just laid down on the couch and said, thanks, man. And he's like, yeah, motherfucker, that's why we keep fucking losing.
All the drugs.
That was the way of coping with the losing.
Yeah, that was when they were losing. Yeah.
Do you guys ever get out to LA often? Like for comedy or anything like that?
I need to. It's crazy. I started thinking about it this past summer. I was like, I keep going to Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, and Atascadero, but never just go to LA. I was like, I need to change that. So
there's some like weird shit that happens in LA. So a few years ago, this is probably like late 2019. This is like after like you remember that breakup I went through?
Yeah, I remember that breakup. Yeah, we talked about it.
So like I went to LA for the first time since the breakup, and so my ex-boyfriend lived in LA, and so I was doing some fucking weed show with this other shitty ass comic, and so but he was trying to smoke me out for free, so I was like, cool. And so the next day he asked, do you want to go to a pool party? I'm thinking, okay, cool, maybe it's a pool party, a barbecue at his place. Turns out that it's at somebody else's house that I don't even know, and so
it's pool.
No, it was just, so
billiards.
I go to meet him at his apartment, and then it's this girl pulls up, and it's another Asian girl, and we're like looking, kind of sizing each other up, and I was like, this is weird. Like, am I interrupting something? Is this weird? It was just a very awkward vibe, and so we get in her car. I don't know her at all, and we're going to this pool party.
Jeez, you're very trusting.
Yeah. Because I was like, well, this guy has a long torso and no coordination, so if anything happens, I could take him. I don't know. It was the Hayward in me that was thinking, okay, I can protect myself. Let's see what happens here. I'll jump out of the fucking car. I'll jump out of the fucking car. And so we're going into this nice neighborhood, and so the house in question it wasn't like huge, but it was really nice. And so we're in this. It's a pool party, and there's nobody that I know. And the guy that invited me to the pool party, he's so fucked up that we lose him about 5 minutes into arriving. And mind you, I don't know anybody except this girl that I don't even know if she's happy to see me, like happy to have some random girl that she doesn't know hang out with her. Right. But at one point, we both got so fucking lit. We were the only 2 Asian women at this party. We were in a floaty talking to a bunch of people, and it turns out when we were talking, we knew more people in common, and so she softened as soon as like I told her some of the people I knew, and she's like, oh, I know them too. And so we're just like hella like bonding and shit like that. And as the party progresses, we still don't see the guy. The sun goes down, more people start coming into the house, into the pool party. Like the backyard's like lit up. It's like hella nice. And so I recognized again more people that I recognized either from TV or from Twitter or from other things. And I took a picture of the backyard and I put it in my Instagram story, and then I got 5 different DMs from black comics saying, what are you doing at Mateen Stewart's pool party? That's where I was. I was just like, I guess that's a thing that happens. And I was like, I don't know whose house this is. I don't know how I got here. I don't know what I'm doing here, but like if somebody could tell me where this is. So
who is that?
He's a comic from LA. Like we actually ended up becoming friends. Like me and him are cool. Me and this girl are still in touch. and one of the only people I recognized at the party was this other comedian, Pap Johnson. Yeah. So like we actually became friends on Twitter. We became friends on Twitter, but then I saw like he has a very distinctive smile, right? And I just went straight to him because I was like, you're the only other person I know here.
Is he from the Bay?
He's from the Bay. He moved down. He moved. He's one of the Bay Areas.
He did that Beck show, so I remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so that was for me. That was a very like I ended up taking an Uber home. Like as soon as I figured out like, okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna know anybody else here. This is the part of the party that's not for me. So I'm just going to like sneak out and make myself scarce. And then I went back to I was staying at Jen Gonzalez's house by myself because she was visiting her boyfriend. And so I was just like, this is the most LA thing I've ever experienced. That's the reason I asked. It's such a very specific to LA kind of experience because I don't know that shit happens up here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in your opinion, what is the difference between the LA vibe comedy scene versus out here?
I feel like it's easier to get around or get things done in LA if you have people in common with other people. I feel bad for people that legitimately go to LA like not knowing anyone, not doing it because they have to build everything up from the bottom. But it's a lot easier and safer, I think, if you go there like having some sort of connection or some sort of credibility and people that like other people with credibility can vouch for you.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like if I had been just some random bitch that didn't know anybody, like I might have gotten either ignored at this party, no one would have talked to me, I wouldn't have had a ride there or back home, like things like that. Like, but yeah, I just say the reason I say it was a very LA.
Oh yeah, you would have been fun.
Yeah. Like I was just like, I don't know where I am, guys. And fortunately, people on Instagram stories were like, I know where you are. And I was like,
it's a good thing you didn't dab that.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like he actually came. So Mateen actually came to because he was also on the playlist, right?
Yeah.
And so we talked about this during that show, and we also talked about that same experience when he was at Copper Spoon, and the comic in question that had gotten so fucked up that we lost him. This guy apparently what he also did was Pap had ordered chicken to go to. I think he ordered it for I forgot what it was, like some sort of occasion. But then this other comic like retrieved it from the DoorDash guy before Pap got to it, and then he came into the party saying, "Hey, I got chicken for everybody." So he was in there looking like the man, but he basically stole some other person's chicken.
That's some LA shit.
Yeah, some hella LA shit. I was just like, I was like, I don't know that would happen here without somebody.
I don't have any credits, but I brought chicken.
Exactly. I was just like, oh my god, it's such an LA
Your ass
thing.
beat out here.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this episode up, but dude, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Thanks for having me. You guys don't still think I'm mean?
Not at all.
I'm still not convinced.
You're just putting on airs for the show.
No, but for real, I would like to have you back because I think you got more stories than we did.
I definitely do. I'd love to come back.
Roasting.
Before we go, though, we always like open it up. Any last things you want to put out there, or where people our listeners can follow you?
Yeah.
Regular shows you're at, stuff like that.
I don't know that I don't really know that I have regular shows at this point because I stopped producing. But like my Instagram usually has my schedule, so that's Ivy Cordova at Instagram, AIVY CORDOVA. I have a regular ass like website, which is also linked on that site. If you ever see me at Target, just wave. Keep it moving.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
If you ever see her like after 10 p.m. at a taco truck, come say hi.
Yeah.
We stay going to bomb ass tacos.
Oh my gosh, Taco Sinaloa, everyone, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It has to be the one on International.
Yes.
Yeah.
The more dangerous at night, the better.
It's so good.
Exactly.
So good.
So
They
good.
have to make the food awesome enough for you to ignore the danger.
On a hot day, the
Has to be
seafood
worth it.
hits.
It's so good. I remember one time we were going there. I can't say this comic's name out loud, but like we were making plans to go to this taco truck, and I invited Corday to come with me because I didn't trust myself to not try to suck this guy's dick. So like I was like, Corday, will you
Corday was a cock blocker that day.
I was like, will you keep? I was like, keep me honest, dude. Keep me from being stupid. Like, just it was a rough week, and so we ended up having tacos, and that was the only thing that went in my mouth that night. Thank you, Corday.
Corday, you broke man code. You should have encouraged that shit.
She didn't tell me. I didn't know. She was like, Corday, you want to get tacos with me? I was like, actually, I'm kind of broke right now.
I was like, I'm paying for you. Let's go.
Yeah. I didn't even know what was going on. I was like, oh, you paying for me? Oh, hell yeah.
You're breaking guy code.
And she was like, what do you want? I was like, let me get some more chata. Let me get the...
I was like, I got you.
I want some more chata too.
I was like, I
Starts ordering half the menu.
You were.
I was like, I got you. Just don't leave.
Yeah. She's like, that's what she said. Don't leave. I was like, all right, because I was literally about to get my stuff and then dip. She's like, no, Corday, let's go sit down. down here and eat. And I was like, why? I was like, because I'm looking around on International Boulevard. I'm like, yo, Ivy, it is not safe.
Yeah.
At fucking 11:30 at night for us to be just sitting here. She's like, no, those tacos was bomb. I was like, yeah, okay, all right,
I was
cool.
like, I will keep you safe. Just fucking don't leave.
Big black dude with tattoos.
Exactly.
In a goth chola, you're gonna get shot.
How people was looking at me, they were like, do I know you? I was like, no, I'm from Richmond. I was like, wait, no, I'm actually I'm
part
from
of
LA.
Richmond? Like-
I'm from LA or like Anaheim or something. Because I was thinking everything I was
from
saying.
Orange County, bro.
Exactly. I was thinking LA. I was like,
You're
oh no,
from Buena.
not gang member. Orange County. Exactly. Yep.
Did you say what your IG was?
Oh yeah, Ivy Cordova. Just my
Cordova.
government name. Same shit.
AIVY.
Yep.
You guys good? Any last words?
Yeah, thank you.
Just thank you for coming.
I had a blast.
Hey, thank you for coming through. Like I said, you redeemed Corey today. This was gonna be strike 2.
It was.
Taking it back.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. That's been the Voice Party.
And we're out.
Yo, that was a lot of fun.
I did not know you was.